Hello and welcome back. We are here with Joe again, who is going to show us the House of the Dead 4. Introduce yourself and just tell me whenever to start.
Yep, hi, my name is Joe. So I have just finished a run of Resident Evil 4 and now I'm continuing towards running the House of the Dead 4. This is the console version, which I'm gonna be doing on the PlayStation 3, and I'm gonna be using a light gun peripheral. So the time starts after we skip the first cutscene, so I will count it down to let you know when to start. And we are going to be doing rank mode, so I will let you know when to start the timer. I'll count it down on 3.
Our backup hasn't arrived yet.
Right, you ready? The time starts in hold on. Time starts in 3, 2, 1, go. So basically, the House of the Dead 4 is a series like the House of the Dead is basically a light gun shooter, like arcade light gun shooter series developed by Sega, and it was mainly targeted for the arcade platform. But after the arcade release, usually after a few years, they came to the home versions as well. So for the home enjoyers, like with different like peripherals on the, so that you can play it like at the arcade when you are using a light gun instead of like a stick. So because this game is an on-rail shooter, so there's not really much you can do, but just that we are going to be optimizing the enemy kills and also some grenade placement. Because that this game introduced grenades so that you can dispatch of enemies quickly. For doing a speed run, we are going to be using grenades a lot. It will be a very handy tool. So we are doing rank mode, which locks the difficulty to normal and the life to 3 life starting, and maximum life you can get is 5 in rank. And you do not get any credits to continue, so that we are not going to be able to death abuse. So because in the normal any percent speedrun of the House of the Dead 4, we will be setting our health to like 1 HP and very easy, so that we can get back our grenades when we get hit and when we die. Because when you die, you continue, you get your grenades refilled back. But in rank mode, because you only get a single credit, you cannot do that. If you lose all your health, it's game over for rank mode. So we will be conserving our grenades for some sections that really takes a lot of time. Usually it's for enemies when they are doing their animation, like their running animation or whatever. Because like when they are doing an animation, like when they are crawling out of their spawn or whatever, they have iframes towards your gun, but for some reason you can use a grenade to blow them up. So that's where mainly we are going to use our grenades at. And as you can see, when they're climbing up, usually if you use your gun to shoot them, they don't die, but they die if you use a grenade on them. So we have our first boss fight, not much to say, we just dispatch him as fast as possible.
Can't be happening.
Usually in the House of the Dead series, I find it funny that like if in both like a casual run and a speed run, the boss are usually the more consistent things or like easier things out of all times compared to like the normal enemies. I would say in both a speedrun and the casual playthrough, normal enemies are more scarier and unpredictable compared to like bosses, because like boss they have their own attack pattern. But for enemies, they can just like run up at you and do different attacks.
Where do you think you're going?
So once we dispatch our first boss, we're gonna skip the cutscene as fast as possible, and that is stage 1. Usually for the House of the Dead, the games will be split into like 6 chapters with a few exceptions. I
Not feeling
believe, for example, for the first game, House of the Dead 1, I believe it's only 5 chapters. I can be wrong, don't quote me on that. I didn't play House of the Dead 1 a lot. So for this one, we're just gonna continue to use our guns to dispatch of the enemy. Usually we will, for any percent run, we will use a grenade on there, but for rank, we will conserve the grenade for future use. You start with 3 grenades on each chapter, so if you don't already have 3 grenades when the chapter ends, you get refilled. So ideally you want to use up all your grenades before your chapter ends. But if you have more than 3, then of course, yeah, it stays that way. Like let's say if you have 3 to 5 grenades, then you will stay that way once the chapter ends. But if you have less than 3, then you will get refilled to 3. So we're gonna throw a grenade here.
It's too dangerous. We can't go this way.
For speedrunning wise, like it's just like mainly it's like hitting the headshots and their weak spots, so that they get killed like more quickly and sometimes in one hit. So we're gonna choose left because that's the faster path. And also because reloading in this game takes time, like you can see when I reload, I have the animation where the character like has his gun up. During that time, you will not be able to fire a weapon. You will not be able to show grenades as well. So basically, like there's nothing you can do. So in each scene is ideally you want to dispatch all the enemies within a single clip. I don't know if there's a term for that, but me myself I call it one clipping the enemies on the screen. But like some sections have like a few enemies, like maybe like 4 to 5 enemies, and if you aim your shots really well, you can dispatch them within a single clip, so you don't have to waste like maybe like 0.5 seconds to reload your gun. And in the long run, like throughout the entire game, you can save quite a bit of time to do that properly. Oh, I got pushed down. That is just automatic, like I believe it's like a 5-second time loss. Because when you push down, you have that animation where you can't do anything. Ideally you don't want enemy to get close to you so that they don't grab you or they don't push you down, but that can happen. Like stuff happens, so I missed the grenade. That's fine. And because we're playing rank mode, so we cannot damage abuse to refill our grenades that way. So I will be needing all the grenade pickups possible from like the destroyable object in the background. If you play any light gun game, like arcade light gun games, well, you know that like the background objects like barrels or boxes, you can shoot them and then sometimes they will drop items. So ideally you want all the grenades you can get in rank mode. But I missed one grenade drop, but that's fine. It's not too big of a deal. And we have another second boss. This boss is a giant spider basically.
An earthquake?
It's too dangerous in here. Open that door. You're gonna have to jump.
This is straight out of a movie I saw.
So it's the same thing. We're just gonna shoot the weak point to deplete the cancel bar so that the boss can stop attacking us. And for this part, we are gonna dispatch of the boss's offspring. You have to be a bit careful because sometimes they can jump on the edge of the screen and they can be hard to hit. We just want to drain the HP until the threshold. As you can see, the HP doesn't go down anymore, so I have to do the shake QTE. Then we can continue to cancel his attack. And for this one, we're gonna throw a very specific, very precise grenade to hit his weak point so that his health can drop half of itself before the section even begin. Where you can see his health just got dropped half there. So that's why we need ideally we need 2 grenades so that we can do it for both sections here, but it's fine because we missed the 1 grenade pickup, we only get to work with 1. But that's okay, we will just dispatch of him with our guns.
I guess you haven't quite lost your touch.
Got to concentrate a little harder.
And as you can see, once the chapter ends, when I go back into the next chapter, I will have my grenade replenished to 3.
I think I remember this station.
Aren't there any survivors?
And we're gonna use a grenade here because they are doing this crawling animation and they have iframe and that's really slow. So we're gonna take a grenade and dispatch of them. And we're gonna use another grenade right here to dispatch of the climbing, the climbing up of the platform. Yeah, dispatch the 2 guys and hopefully we get the grenade drop. Never mind, we didn't get it, but it's fine.
We don't have time to sit. Let's get going.
I'll search up ahead. There's nobody here.
Should we take the escalator? Go the other way. What?
Sometimes it can be really hard to get the grenade drops because like your character is moving or like there might be enemies like blocking the way. So you have to be really precise at some point to get the grenade drops.
No time to relax just yet.
Retro grenade there. Oh, that grenade didn't hit anything. Wow, that is a huge waste of time. Because usually that grenade, it will kill every enemy on the platform and it saves a bunch of time. So you can just nade them instead of having to shoot them one by one. But that grenade missed, so I am forced to shoot them instead.
Like this many.
And here we have a bunch of enemies. Usually we don't use a grenade here because like even if you dispatch of the enemies quickly, your character still have to like cycle around them. Like you can see your character is like slowly walking left, so essentially it's an auto scroller. So if you kill the enemy fast enough, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. Don't get pushed down if you can help it. We're gonna get a HP.
What's that sound?
Train's right on time.
Nobody's here.
Gotta clear away all the stuff. It's dangerous here. Let's keep moving.
Doing rank, like a rank speed run, it has more RNG things. Just because that you are limited on your grenade supply, you cannot just die and refill your grenade. So you really need to make your grenades count in the rank category speed run. And also the enemies are a lot tankier compared to any person because their difficulty is locked at normal. For any person, we play at very easy difficulty, which the enemies pretty much they die in like 2 to 3 shots. Like even 3 shots to the feet and the enemy dies in very easy, but that's not happening at normal. So for this boss fight, because we don't have any more grenades to work with, we will just have to do it the normal way, which is to just shoot him into his death. But this boss fight is pretty much like majority of it is like auto scroll anyway, because like the chainsaw animation when the boss is like coming towards you, even when you cancel the boss, you still have your character still have to like finish like walking the distance, so it doesn't really is pretty much the same actually. So whether you use a grenade or if you just use a normal like use a gun. I would say the only part where it makes a difference is when the boss is at his final slimmer of health, so that you can use a grenade to end the fight early instead of having to shoot and finish up the cancel bar. That can be slightly slower, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference.
All right. Looks like I've still got it.
I used to come here often.
Close the door of this. Usually on a normal playthrough or like a score playthrough, if you are going for high scores, you'll leave the door open so that you can kill more enemies. But on a speed run, we just kind of want to get it over with as fast as possible, so we close the door and we dispatch the enemies with grenades. Because I'm not sure if this applies to other House of the Dead games, but you can say that for at least for House of the Dead 4, it's like score runs and speed runs are two completely like directly opposite things. Like if you're doing a score run, you're not gonna be fast. If you're doing a speed run, you are not gonna get any scores. So we're gonna use a grenade to dispatch of the enemies because like of their long animation when they bust out of the window. We're gonna skip the cutscene and we are fighting our fourth boss, which is a giant obese monster, which we are gonna fight. And you can see the boss life is not taking any damage because this boss that absorbs all our damage. But at the end of the level, you are gonna get into a QTE where you can release a giant clock tower thingy on the boss, and we have to kill the boss. So you are just basically cancelling the boss for like just to not let the boss hit you. This section is also pretty much an auto scroller because like so it doesn't really matter like if you have grenades or not, because like the boss is like moving towards you and your character again is like walking backwards. So even if you cancel the boss early, you still have to finish the walk distance. So it doesn't really make a difference on that. And here, usually if you still have grenades, you can like cook grenades and you can throw it at the boss's face, and it will be kind of like the spider boss. He can take down half the cancel bar, but because we don't have that, so we have to shoot him out. Use the explosive barrel to hopefully kill some enemies. Dispatch of these two flying ones, and that's the end of the chapter. You just want to hit this QTE, and the boss dies. I'm gonna skip the cutscene, but basically what happened is that the clock thingy drops on the boss's face and it kills the boss.
For nothing.
All right. Looks like I've still got it.
So we are up on to chapter 5.
Running out of time. Leave the driving to me. Target point A0063.
I'm sure if we make this one is quick. And here we're just gonna shoot the guy that is holding our car, because when the guy that holds our car dies, we'll just move on with the way.
Watch out for that truck!
And here we're gonna throw another grenade to dispatch of the group of enemies.
This place hasn't changed since the last time.
And apparently now the zombies can drive. We're gonna throw a grenade to kill most of the enemies, because they're in the iframe of like climbing up the edge.
They're coming up from behind!
So we're just gonna kill them before kill them over in the iframe animation. So we're gonna shoot this health pickup here and the grenade pickup, and we're gonna shoot a grenade here.
How's this?
Kill most of them, and we're gonna be moving on our way.
Never thought I'd be back here.
And for the last grenade, I'm just gonna throw it like this. I don't think that's gonna hit anything. Yep. Sometimes that can happen, like when your grenade throw is like a little bit off in the distance, it just goes into oblivion. It doesn't even explode like on your screen. I have no idea what causes that. And we are in the 5th boss fight. And this boss basically flies around all over your screen and attacks you. And because the fact that he is flying, I believe this is the only boss where you cannot use a grenade to dispatch of him quickly. You have to shoot him just because there is no platform for you to land a grenade on. And if you ever play this game on an arcade, you probably remember this boss as like the credit sucker. Just because this boss is like, it moves around so fast and it goes to the edge of the screen. And as you can see, it can shoot a lot of the lightning bolts. So if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably gonna get sucked quarter after quarter. Okay, and we got the boss, so we're gonna skip the cutscene again.
Looks like you're not a top agent for nothing.
Alright. Looks like I've still got it.
And we are now in the final chapter. So we're gonna save all the grenades that we get into the final boss. Just because the final boss, if you can land really precise like grenade throws, you can really demolish the boss's HP. Because the final boss, the weak spot is like at the center of its like a heart. There's like the opening on its heart, and you have to shoot it. But if you can land the grenade throw on the thing, it can really like end the boss fight within like 30 seconds.
Think he needs to hire a new decorator. We're not going to make it.
And then coming up after the last set of enemies, we will go into the secret room. This secret room opens when you 1 credit the game until this section, so it's not avoidable. So we're just gonna get the 2 grenades. That's what we care about. We don't really need all the other things. So in the rank mode, you will always have to open that secret room because you get there by 1 credit, the secret room will open. So we'll line up a grenade throw like that, somewhere like that. So we can see if you hit the boss in the weak spot, you can see his health really will go like... As you can see, the health just lose like quite a big chunk of health. So if you can hit all your grenade throws, this is gonna be very crucial. I just missed that, and it's gonna be a time loss because like when he do his like final attack animation where he spawns the objects onto the air, you kind of have to like finish the cancel bar before you can hit him again. So after you run out of grenade, you have to like do that in the manual way. I should have probably saved 1 grenade for the second part. Time is coming up really soon. This is the final boss, so after I kill the boss, that really will be time. So probably maybe another 20 seconds. Right, and time.
GG.
GG's everyone. So yep, that is the House of the Dead 4 arcade dragon mode. So the arcade mode is, no, I mean it's designed for arcade games, so the game is like generally is like quite short. So because it's designed to go through in a single sitting.
Ah yes, there is one thing I
What
forgot.
is the final arcade time that we have?
The time that we have is 26 minutes and 11 seconds.
Oh, that is really close. Well, then we'll take it. That's world record for rank mode is 25:02. So we are a minute off. But that's fine.
That was actually close.
Because I don't really run the game on rank mode, so it's kind of rusty on rank. Just like in case you're wondering, like for the game's world record, I currently hold 3 world records in the game, which is the any percent on original hardware and rank mode on original hardware, and also any percent on the emulator. We separate the emulator boards just because we found out that you run faster with emulator, so we have to separate it. So that's it for my run today. Glad you guys, I hope you guys enjoy the run and you all have a good one. Thanks for having me on the marathon.
Yeah, no problem. But we also have another donation, which is actually directed a little bit to you. We have a €5 donation from Zach, which is, by the way, the next runner, which he contributed to custom change on run. So another costume for Resident Evil, and his comment was, motion controls will come back one day. Also costume
really?
3 in Resident Evil 3, please. Yeah, the controller is really cool. Can you show it again?
It's the VR controller. It's called the PlayStation Move controller, or if you come from the PS4 era, you might know it as a PSVR controller. It's basically the PSVR one, and the gun is like just a plastic, like a casing. It also made by Sony, So it's kind of like the Wii nunchuck and the shooting attachment is something like that. So it's like it goes in and the cover goes on top, and your motion stick is now a gun.
Nice.
I really hope this type of controls like come back in the future, because like nowadays it feels like all games are just like adapting to like standard controls.
Yeah. So cool.
Anyways, that's it for me. So hopefully I can see you guys probably sometime in the future.
Thank you very much for running, and we are switching back